Today, we're diving into a really intriguing storyline that's been developing over the past few weeks: the potential impact of Patrick Williams' injury on the Chicago Bulls, and whether it could open the door for highly touted prospect Matas Buzelis to make an early leap to the NBA. Welcome to Chicago Bulls News, your go-to source for the latest updates on the Windy City's favorite team. Today, we're going to dive into a really intriguing storyline that's been developing over the past few weeks: the potential impact of Patrick Williams' injury on the Chicago Bulls' plans, and whether it could open the door for highly touted prospect Matas Buzelis to make an early leap to the NBA. Now, if you've been following the NBA offseason, you know that the Bulls have had a bit of a roller coaster ride so far. They came into the summer with high hopes of building on their playoff appearance last season and taking the next step as a team. But they've already faced a major setback with the news that their young forward Patrick Williams is expected to miss 4-6 months after suffering a significant ankle injury during a recent workout. This is a tough blow for the Bulls, who were banking on Williams taking a big leap in his third NBA season. The 21-year-old showed flashes of brilliance in his first 2 years, and the franchise has been very high on his long-term potential. But now, with him potentially missing close to half the upcoming season, it raises a lot of questions about the team's plans and how they'll adjust. One of the more intriguing angles to this story is how it could impact the trajectory of another young prospect, Matas Buzelis. Now, if you're not familiar with Buzelis, he's a 19-year-old Lithuanian forward who has been generating a ton of buzz in the basketball world over the past year or so. Buzelis is considered one of the top high school prospects in the 2023 class, and he's generated comparisons to players like Kevin Durant and Giannis Antetokounmpo because of his rare combination of size, skill, and athleticism. At 6'10" with a 7'3" wingspan, he has the physical tools to be a matchup nightmare at the NBA level. But what's really impressed scouts is his advanced ball handling, shooting, and playmaking ability for a player his size. Buzelis has been playing professionally in Lithuania for the past couple of years, and he's continued to develop and showcase his talents on the international stage. He was a standout at the FIBA U19 World Cup this summer, leading his team in scoring and rebounds while showcasing his versatility on both ends of the floor. The hype around Buzelis has been building to the point where there's a growing belief that he could be a one-and-done prospect and enter the 2023 NBA draft. And with Patrick Williams now facing an extended absence, some are wondering whether that could open the door for Buzelis to potentially join the Bulls roster sooner than expected. Now, let's dive a little deeper into how Buzelis might fit with the Bulls if he did end up joining the team either through the draft or potentially signing a two-way or Exhibit 10 contract. One of the key things that makes Buzelis an intriguing prospect for the Bulls is his versatility and ability to play multiple positions. At 6'10", he has the size to match up with NBA power forwards, but he also has the ball handling and playmaking skills to potentially operate as a point forward or secondary creator. This could be really valuable for a Bulls team that's trying to maximize the talents of its young core, which includes dynamic scorers like Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. Buzelis' size, length, and perimeter skills could allow him to seamlessly fit alongside those two stars and complement their games. Now, circling back to the core of this story: how Patrick Williams' injury could open the door for Buzelis. This really comes down to the Bulls' options and priorities as they look to fill that void in their frontcourt rotation. With Williams sidelined for an extended period, the Bulls are going to need to find ways to replace his production and defensive impact. And Buzelis' unique skill set could make him an appealing option either as a draft pick or a two-way/Exhibit 10 signing. The Bulls do have some other young forwards like Derrick Jones Jr. and Javonte Green who could see expanded roles. But Buzelis' combination of size, versatility, and potential upside might be too enticing for them to pass up, especially if he can come in and make an immediate impact. Now, it's important to note that the Bulls haven't made any firm decisions on how they'll handle this situation. They could certainly look to add a more experienced veteran to help fill the void in the short term. Or they could decide to give more opportunities to their existing young players and focus on developing that internal talent. But if Buzelis continues to impress leading up to the draft and shows that he's ready to make the jump to the NBA, the Bulls may feel compelled to bring him in and give him a chance to prove himself, especially with Williams sidelined. And that's where things get really fascinating, because Buzelis' potential arrival could have implications both in the short term and the long term for the Bulls. In the short term, he could provide a needed jolt of energy and versatility to their frontcourt rotation. Even if he's not immediately ready to be a major contributor, his ability to guard multiple positions and make plays on both ends of the floor could make him a valuable piece off the bench. And if Buzelis can showcase his skills and continue to develop, he could potentially play his way into a more substantial role as the season goes on. The Bulls would have to be cautious about rushing him into a major role, but if he proves he's ready, they may have a hard time keeping him off the floor. From a long-term perspective, Buzelis' arrival could have an even more significant impact. If he shows that he can be a complementary piece alongside LaVine and DeRozan, it could give the Bulls front office confidence that they have a potential long-term solution at the forward spot. So in summary, the injury to Patrick Williams has created an intriguing situation for the Chicago Bulls, and it could potentially open the door for them to accelerate the timeline on another highly touted prospect in Matas Buzelis. Buzelis' unique blend of size, skill, and versatility makes him an enticing option for the Bulls, both in the short term as they look to fill the void left by Williams' absence, and in the long term as they try to build a championship-caliber roster around their star backcourt. Of course, there are no guarantees that Buzelis will be able to make an immediate impact at the NBA level. The transition from international competition to the world's best league is a significant one, and the Bulls would have to weigh the pros and cons of potentially rushing him into a larger role. But if Buzelis continues to impress leading up to the 2023 draft and shows that he's ready to contribute now, the Bulls may feel compelled to give him that opportunity. And it could end up being a game changer, not just for Buzelis' career, but for the trajectory of the Bulls as a team. It's an intriguing storyline that's definitely worth keeping an eye on as we get closer to the start of the NBA season. I'll be sure to provide updates on this situation as it continues to develop. But for now, that's all I've got. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.